Starting from little to no followers as a creative can be really tough and discouraging. When you share your work, it can feel like shouting into the void. But with these tips, you can get the follower snowball rolling and start building a strong and loyal fan base. My name is Gian. I'm a creator with a full-time job helping busy people unlock their creative potential and follow their creative passions. Gaining followers is one thing, but gaining early and loyal followers requires the right mindset and the right approach. It's important to understand the reality of starting with low followers. You should really understand that low followers does not mean your work is bad. Your lack of followers and any metrics related to your work does not correlate to the quality of that work itself. And this is really important to acknowledge because it's easy to get discouraged when you're sharing something and not getting much feedback, not getting views or likes or whatever it is. You have to start from where you are. If you're watching videos like these and you're making stuff and sharing it, I encourage you to keep going. Second, the reality is, regardless of your follower count or whatever, if you create value for other people, you'll create fans. Value sounds kind of weird when thinking about creative stuff, but really it just means something entertaining, interesting, helpful, thought-provoking, something like that. Think of your videos, your writing, your art, your music, whatever it is, as the foundation for your loyal fan base. And providing value is really important because you can't really build loyal fans on crappy work. Number 3, you should expect to start slow if you're starting from 0 or from a low follower count. I think it's important to note that all the people you admire today who have a lot of followers, they started from similar positions and you can get there as well if you put in effort the right way. The lack of feedback and followers can be really discouraging initially just because I think completing a piece of personal work and sharing it can feel like a big moment, and then it can feel like no one really cares. But that's okay because we know that the feedback or the response does not correlate to the quality of your work. If you're finishing projects and you're sharing them, then the rest should come later. And also, if you care specifically about loyal fans that care about your work and aren't just spamming follow for follow in your comments, then the follower numbers you get aren't as important. It is important to note though that there is this sort of snowball momentum effect where as you gain followers, it'll just become easier over time. So it's important to really persist in the early stages so that you can get to the point where momentum can carry you forward. What should you specifically do to grow your loyal audience? One thing you should focus on is quality output over growth strategies, and I'll explain more. I think it's important to really not miss the point. Like, who cares if you have 1 million followers or whatever if none of them give a shit about what you're working on, right? Focusing on output just means focusing on finishing projects, whatever that looks like for you, and then sharing them with the world. There are legit strategies to growing on various platforms. I'm not dismissing those, but all of that is built on the foundation that is your work. So if you focus on your work first, then the rest of the stuff can be built on top of that. And it's important to acknowledge that early on, these growth strategies don't really matter as much just because there are less people that are aware of your presence online. And when you think about it, if you have a lot of quality work, a lot of great writing, art, designs, videos, whatever, and you're putting it out consistently, it'd be really weird if you didn't gain a loyal following because of that. Focus on quality, creative output. Don't miss the point and get distracted by all these strategies and gimmicks to get followers. Another thing you can do along with your work, share a bit about yourself. People naturally want to bond with others and find commonalities and share connections. So if you share a little bit more about yourself along with your work, you're giving an opportunity for others to connect to you. And I think this is especially true now where people are looking at following other people and they care less about just vague corporate brands that are out in the world. So sharing pieces of yourself online is a great way for others to connect to you and your work. I'm going to take my own advice and share a bit about myself. I started this YouTube channel because I'm working a full-time job and I want to make time for my creative passions. So things like art, which I'll put some stuff up here, design, like I designed this t-shirt that I'm wearing, which you can buy, and just other creative hobbies that I'm looking to explore, like YouTube. And I just wanted to help other people in similar situations by sharing all the things that I've learned along the way on this journey. I'm pretty introverted. I spent around 2 months mustering up the courage to film my first YouTube video. And then it took me another month to edit and post it because I was a mix of busy and also just scared to share it. As for my job, I'm a digital product designer, so I design apps and websites, but I'm really interested in things like graphic design and art and music, which I have no experience in music, but that's something I'm interested in. Now you know more about me and you might find something to connect with. And that by extension might help you be more interested or invested in the other things that I might do in the future. So yeah, showing your human side is really key to helping people get invested in your work. Next tip, be considerate of your audience. So this sounds really obvious, like be considerate. What does that even mean? To me, this means understanding the audience that you're trying to serve. And it means following through by giving your audience what they need, but also what they didn't know they needed. If you know your audience wants or needs something and you make it for them, then they'll love you for that. This applies to any creation, a song, a painting, a video, a story, whatever. By directly serving their wants and needs, you're building a connection and trust with those people. You can see this with artists who have a very distinct style of painting or drawing, where they produce multiple works that have that distinct style and their audience knows what to expect and they just become huge fans because of it. Being mindful of your audience is really important early on because you're building trust with them. If you build trust, your growing audience will get to know you and become more receptive to your future work. And if you go even beyond their wants and needs, then it's super next level. And you can see this with artists who evolve their style in a unique way and still maintain their fans and even attract new fans as a result. Using myself as an example, I'm basically making videos for people similar to me who are working full-time jobs or have other obligations, but still want to make time for their creative passions. With the videos I make, these are topics that I've researched pretty deeply or have experience in, and that I'm confident sharing, and that I think will be very useful to people that are similar to me. So if people like you find this channel and what I'm creating resonates with you, I might turn you into a fan just because I've considered you from the beginning. And the last tip, just stay resilient. Don't focus on the numbers initially. You can look at them, but it's usually not useful. The focus is on creative output. I'd say just a reminder to not dwell on the lack of attention or feedback. Honestly, it doesn't matter early on and is secondary to your creative work itself. And we already know it's gonna start slow. If your work is good and you're constantly improving and you're constantly sharing, it's only a matter of time before you gain your loyal audience. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video if it was helpful. Watch this other video, that helps the most. Thanks. Bye.